Throughout my life, everyone around me, my friends, my family, my teachers, they always told me this one word: think before you do anything. But this one word actually caused me more harm than anything else. But then I came across these two words. And I soon realized that these two words are actually really helping me what I want to do. So I'm going to tell you guys my story and tell you how these two words have really helped me shape my life. When I was in school, I used to think before I would raise my hand to ask the teacher a question. I would think before answering the questions in my own words. I would think before doing anything. And in the process, I didn't end up doing anything at all. But then, in 11th standard, I became extremely fascinated by the concept of filmmaking. The fact that you can take a small little handycam and then show the rest of the world what's inside your head, I thought that's a very, very powerful medium. At the end of high school, I went up to my mom and her best friend, Anu auntie, who always seems to take an active interest in my life. I told them I want to be a filmmaker. And obviously, they weren't very impressed. Because in India, if you want to be anything other than an engineer or a doctor, you're considered a terrorist. They obviously said no. But the sad thing was, they made me do this. Maybe I won't be a successful filmmaker. Maybe I won't make enough money. Maybe I won't make it. Now, this one word got me into a lot of trouble because it got me into this. Now, not that I have anything against engineering, but I hated it. Every minute, every second of it. But something happened in engineering. Up until then, I was an above-average student. I had never failed. But for the first time in my life, I failed. And that one moment of failure actually turned out to be a very strong moment of success for me. Because from then on, I didn't have to prove anything to anyone anymore, except myself. So I decided to do this. So I took up my handycam again, and I started shooting all my short films, and I started uploading them. And then in 2006, this wild little invention comes along. You know, it lets you upload all your videos at a click of a button, and the rest of the world can see it. Imagine at that moment. So I started uploading all my films in, and I started making even more films. Soon people started noticing it, and they started giving me professional work. So with the help of YouTube.com, in the first year of college, I set up my first company, Last Minute Films, because in engineering, everything is done at the last minute. And I soon realized that in the real world, everything is done at the last minute too. A year later, this rock band called Pentagram, they asked me to direct a music video for them, and they said it's only going to be for YouTube. So I made a music video, and it ended up getting 100,000 views, and this production company in Bombay saw the video, and they offered me a job to direct. So here I was getting a chance, not to be an assistant, not to be a gopher, but to start directing music videos. But I was in the third year of my college. So from Bombay, I called up my mom and Anu auntie, obviously, and I told them that, I'm getting a chance to direct. Obviously, they weren't very impressed. Me, 20 years old, sitting in Bombay, nothing added up, right? So I had to come back and finish one long, torturous year of engineering. Once I was finally done with my engineering, I decided that this is what I'm going to do. So I took a one-way bus ticket to Bombay. I landed up there, and I went up to the production company's office, hoping that they'll have a job for me. And surprisingly, they did. And 2 months later, they sent me to Mr. Rahman's studio to direct a small promo video. And I was shit scared because all I knew was network analysis and field systems. And here I was trying to direct Mr. Rahman in a promo video. But the shoot went off well, thankfully. But at the end of the video, all he told me was that, Varun, life is very short. Always do what you love and always do what you believe in. I kept those words for the rest of my life. A couple of months later, I was directing a music video for Shankar Ehsaan Loy. The star of the music video was one of India's biggest actresses, Preeti Zinta, and she refused to believe I was the director. I was 20 years old and I looked 15, and she definitely didn't buy it, and you can see from the picture, she definitely doesn't look happy with me trying to direct her. But after I directed this video, I realized that, I really wanted to do something on my own. So I came back to Bangalore, and that's when accidentally, the second part of my life started. And it started somewhere like this. So I believe all great business artists are born when you're drunk, because when you're drunk, you have no inhibitions, right? And anything is possible. So me and my friend, we're sitting in this bar, and we're getting drunk, and we're starting to miss our high school. So we passed out of this school called Bishop Cottons, and we were called Cottonians. So we were like, you know what? We should get sweatshirts with the word Cottonian written on it. But we were drunk, right? So anything is possible. So we were like, dude, why not this for every school and college in this country? So on a piece of tissue paper, we wrote down our grand business plan to make merchandise for students of every school and college in this country. Okay, so now that we have an idea in hand, this is not what we're going to do. We're not going to go to mom and Anu and tell them our idea, because we already know what's happened there, right? So we're not going to do this. But the problem was that we didn't know anything about running a business. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So this is what we're supposed to do. But 4 years of engineering, and they never taught me Microsoft Excel. And I realized that that's the only thing needed. That one software practically defines everyone's life. So, and obviously this caused a lot of problems before, right? This is what we're going to do. So we found this manufacturing friend in a small town in Tripur, and he offered to make us some samples. We landed up at the old boys' day of Bishop Cottons with our small little stall and hoped that people would be interested. At first, nobody showed up, But then this one kid came and asked us, where do you get this hoodie from and can I buy it? And we said, yeah, you can. And then he got 10 of his other Cottonian friends and they got 10 of theirs. And in the first day itself, we ended up selling 2,500 hoodies. So that's when we knew that, yes, we have something in our hands. And the good thing was, when these Cottonian kids started wearing their hoodies and started moving around town, students from other schools and colleges got insecure. So they were like, where do you get that from? And that was our intention. So we knew that they're going to come to us. But then we knew that if we're going to do this for the entire country, we've got to figure out a plan. So in 2009, we officially launched Alma Mater as an online store to cater to students of schools and colleges across India. But the moment we started, that's when all the problems started. My friends were like, dude, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? You should just get a regular job. Why are you taking such a big risk? My mom was really worried because she thought I won't get any dowry. In India, if you don't work for Infosys, you do not get dowry. My mom was really worried. And Anu auntie called me a t-shirt salesman. All of this really started playing with my head. And I became really insecure. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then I just went back to that one small moment of engineering where I failed. And I thought, I failed in engineering and nothing bad happened. If I fail in this, what's the worst? So we decided to give it a shot. And soon enough, things began to change. We started growing. People started noticing us. They put us on the cover of India's biggest magazine. They wrote more than 50 newspaper articles around us. And this is where Alma Mater is today. So we work with over 3,000 schools and colleges across 200 different cities with over 4 lakh students, all sitting out of that one small office in Bangalore. But the coolest part about this is, exactly a year later, my friend and I were sitting in the same bar, and this random kid walks past us wearing a Cottonian hoodie. Man, that one moment, I think that one moment is success. For me, success is not money, it's not cars, or it's not a bank balance. It's moments like these. The moment we saw that kid walk past us, and exactly a year later, we just looked at us. We didn't say anything. So for me, that was my greatest moment of success. And that success came because of don't think. So in the meantime, we kept last-minute films running, obviously, and we ended up with over 1 million views on our YouTube channel. And the best part was YouTube made us a partner. So apparently they sent me a mail that's saying that now every time anyone sees your videos, we'll pay you. I thought that was really, really awesome because my dad was really worried, why am I uploading all these videos? But the moment he came to know that I'll get paid for it now, he was like, you should upload as many videos as you can. So now I come to the very interesting part of this story. This Anu auntie character, right? She was always a strong part of my life. She's that character who always, butts her nose in all of my activities. So I had to figure out, how to deal with this situation. So I should write a lot of notes on Facebook and blogs about Anu auntie and, secretly telling them about how she's damaging my life. And then somebody said, you should write a book about it. The problem was there are 50,000 words in a book. The most number of words I've ever written is 500 words. So I was like, how will I write a book? But then I remember my English teacher once told me, everything looks tough until you actually go ahead and do it. So I started and I never stopped. And I actually wrote 60,000 words. And I wrote a book called How I Braved Anu auntie and co-founded a $1 million company. We made our greatest adversary, Anu auntie, into our brand ambassador. Right? Because the book was about how we started Alma Mater. And Anu auntie became really famous. So here she was going around telling everything against us, and now she was famous. She couldn't say anything against us anymore. But the most interesting thing about the book was we were bootstrapping, right? So we never had money to market our company. So now somebody else is marketing our company and paying us. You get paid for marketing. I never thought that a concept like this could exist. I only realized that you have to pay a lot for marketing. But there's also a way where someone else can pay you to market your very own company. I knew that the book was doing really well because it sold a lot of copies, but the most interesting thing was when I walked into an auto and the auto guy was selling my book. And I took this picture and I sent it to Anu auntie, and she sent it to all her friends because for her, this was the high point. So I'm going to end my talk with a small little story since Ink is all about stories. It's about two gentlemen, Mr. Rajat and Mr. Ashok. So I met Rajat on a plane and he told me the story. They both went to IIT in the 1980s. Then they went to Harvard Business School. Ashok went on to work for Apple. Rajat went on to work for a big consulting firm. Rajat recently came down to India for a business meeting. His car broke down in Calcutta, and they took him to this garage. And he found that the guy who was repairing the car was Ashok. Rajat was shocked. He was like, Ashok, how could you be repairing the car? You're the smartest kid I ever knew. You should probably be the CEO of some company. Then Ashok told him his story. He said, you know what, I worked for Apple for a few years, and I came back to India, made a company that increased fuel efficiency, sold that, and then started this garage because all I really loved was repairing cars with my very own hands. Rajat was the one telling me the story. He told me, Varun, I'm 65 years old. I'm the vice president of my company. My only regret in life is that I didn't live a life that I wanted to live. I lived a life that somebody else wanted me to live. And all he told me was, don't give up on your dreams. And for me to do that, I think, don't think, just do. Thanks.